Morning guys, Sean here, Console Service Center, South Africa. Getting a lot of people asking if I can do the repairs, but they not in South Africa, so it's a little bit difficult. Should make sure OBS is working here. Yeah, the camera is still jumping. Still need to get a new camera. As you can see today, here in South Africa, it's 25th of the 11th, 2021 at 7:46 a.m. in the morning. It's a rainy day. Don't have so much sun today. It's got a light drizzle today. Should rain the whole weekend. Thought I'd do something different for you guys. This is the camera that we use on the outside. So today we're doing the Xbox One S with a power problem, and I don't even know if I'm going to get it right. I've tried a few things on it already, but I'm going to go through everything with you guys to show you how to check power problems on a Xbox One S, because there can be multiple things that will give you problems. So let's get started. Let's get you down to the bench side. Let me just change the view quickly. So top, we want a top view. Okay, let's move the keyboard and the mouse. We don't need that right now. The keyboard we can move. Alright, so the first thing you can do when you have a power problem. Okay, I see this camera's autofocus is on. I just hope it's not going to give us any problems. Let me quickly see if I can change that setting, because it's going to give you guys a bit of an issue. Give me 1 second quickly. Configure video. Autofocus, let's take that off. If I can find it. Okay, focus auto is off. Apply. Okay. Alright, so the first thing we can do on the Xbox One S, we're going to check the power problem first, just on the power supply first. Make sure it's not that. This Xbox comes on for 1 or 2 seconds and it shuts down again. So let's have a look. So firstly we're going to need a test meter. If you want to check any repairs, you obviously going to need a test meter to check if the voltages are right, or you got any dead shorts. So let's start with power supply, as I said. So we're going to put it on DC. I think you can see it slightly there. Okay, let's quickly. Alright, and then the next thing we need to do is we need the power. So let's get the power plug. Alright, we need the power plug. South Africa, we got this 2-pin. I'm sure the rest of the world has the same. It's just our plug point that changes that side. So you can see on the power supply, you got 3 black cables and you got 3 grey. The black is the negative and the grey is the positive. I'm going to warn you now that this is a long video, because there's a lot you've got to go through to find power problems. You know, and then often when customers complain about pricing, they don't understand how much work goes into trying to find a power problem. Some of them are quick, some of them take much longer. So let's quickly check that. So our black lead, we're going to put on the black cable side, which if you look carefully, make sure you put it on the right side. You can actually swap it around, doesn't really matter. Just don't let the 2 leads touch each other when they in that little plug there. So we're going to stick it in those little holes there. I think you can see that, these little contact points there. So we're going to put so let's just quickly have a look. These 3 here at the bottom by the clip are all negative, and the 3 on the top are all positive. So we should get around about 12 volts. So let's quickly check that first. Let's put it in the bottom one again. So I'll just stick the probe in there, and like I said, don't let these 2 touch when this one's connected. So we're just going to pop in the first one. You can see on the test meter there 11.99 volts. Okay, let's check the second one, 11.99, and the third one 11.99. So that means that our power supply is working. There's no problems on the power supply itself. So let's plug that out. Alright. Okay, next thing we need to check. One thing you can do is you can also check hard drive. It's not often that a hard drive will give you a problem, but just check your hard drive too. Okay, just if you can, download a little program, plug it into a SATA to USB connector, and run a test on your hard drive. Make sure it's at least 100% health. If it's not, it can also give you a power problem. I've checked the hard drive already. on our hard drive program that we use, and it's not the hard drive. Okay, so we know it's not the hard drive. Okay, next, if you guys know the board, let's just quickly get our bearings here quickly. The next thing you can try, these are all the easy things you can try without starting to do any board tests. The next thing is plug out the CD drive. Okay, so your CD drive, just grab it quickly. Okay, sorry, this is a digital version. All right, so we don't have any CD drive here today. But what you can do is, we find often that the disk drive will sit here. There's a little board inside the disk drive that can create a short, and that can also short out onto the board. And if you press on, it might just beep, go off, or it might be dead completely. So the next thing you want to do, if you have got a disk drive and you don't have a digital version just means that it's got no CD-ROM in it. Okay, so you can only download your games. It's still got the plugs, it's still got the two plugs. So these two here, this one and this one, is going to be, I'm going to try and see if I can zoom in a little bit more for you guys so we can get a little bit of a better view of the board. Just give me a second quickly here. It's not going to be that well focused, but we can have a look. Alright, so your CD drive would usually plug into this SATA here, and this would be the power side. So plug these two out and try and switch the console on and see what happens. Obviously the board, front power board, let's just turn it around. So okay, so the front would now be facing me. This is the on-off board, eject and everything, and Wi-Fi, everything built into this board. So that would plug in there. To zoom you guys back out again so you can see properly. So I'm messing you guys around with the visuals here. Just want to make sure that you guys get it properly. So I've got everything right for you guys. Okay, so that should plug in there, and then obviously we just press the on button. If it comes on with the disk drive plugged out, then you know that it's the disk drive itself that's giving a problem. So they can also create a short and not make it come on. If you do have a spare board like this lying around that is working, just pop another one in, try and switch it on again and see if that does make any difference. It's not often that it is this board. There's been times that it has been, but it's a very, very slight chance. A lot of times people break off the little switches, these little pop switches here. Just be careful when you do open it that you don't pry this bottom one off especially. Okay, alright, so that's what you can check. Again, I know that's not the problem. The problem is something else on the board. What you can do next is you can take your two probes, you put it in continuity mode. Alright, just make sure we're getting a beep. Okay, so we're getting a beep there. Alright, so your power supply plugs into this little plug here. So you can see it looks exactly the same. 3 positive, 3 negative on there. So the next thing you want to do is make sure there's not a dead short. So if you look inside the little plug, you'll see there's little pins standing up. We're going to test the top ones and the bottom ones. Make sure they're not connecting to each other. So let's just put one in there, one in there. Okay, my test meter just got some voltage that it puts out, so obviously it's going to give us a short in the beginning. But if you leave it there for a little while, it goes away, then you know it's got no short. So there we go, we've got no short. Another thing you can do is you can put your positive or negative probe, it doesn't matter, onto one of the HDMI ports. You see we touch the other one, it's dead short, it's earthing because it runs through the earth. You can see we put the copper points here. Any copper on the board, you'll also see it gives a dead short because obviously that's connected to the earth side. So the bottom 3 pins here, closer to me, are negative. Okay, we're getting a negative, we're getting a connection. All right, that's good. The top 3 closer to the APU side shouldn't give us any reading. Okay, it will now because I'm getting voltage through my test meter. There you can see it's gone. So checking first one, second one nothing, third one nothing. Okay, so we know there's no short on the positive side here. Then the next step is going to be here on our power rail side. So these three, I don't know what I can call them. Let's call it phases, power phases, phase 1, 2 and 3. This should power give you 12 volts here, and that would spread out and would step it down to 3.3, 1 volt, 5 volts to supply all different things onto your motherboard. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start here. Another thing you can try is if you're switching it on and it goes off, feel the main processor. Careful, it can get very, very hot. If the main processor does get hot, that means we're getting at least voltage to the main processor, or the APU, whatever you want to call it. Right, I've been doing this for quite a while, so I still call it main processor, the APU. Alright, so if that's getting hot, then we know that we're getting voltage 12 volts to there. Usually with this side here, if something happens, you would see either corrosion would damage the MOSFETs or something around here, or they actually blow up completely. Let's put you guys under the microscope quickly. Excuse me. Okay. Alright, let's just change the view here. Sorry, there's going to be a little bit of noise in the next couple of minutes, but it is working hours, so we might get a bit of people walking around and customers coming in, that type of thing. Let's just change the view quickly. Should fix this up. Alright, so let's go to the scope. Let's zoom it all the way out. Give me 1 second quickly. I'm just going to put you on mute. Okay, I'm back. So, as I said to you, there's 3 phases. I can't zoom out anymore. Just going to lose focus. Yeah, we're going to lose focus if I zoom out too much. Alright, so let's just zoom back in, get some focus for you. That looks good. So, as I said, there's 3 phases. This is number 1. Move the board up. Number 2, you can see I desoldered that one already. I thought there was a problem, that one. And number 3. Okay, so let's start first with number 1. So what you can do here at number 1, well, the way to test this is you go to your this little IC, this little MOSFET or whatever you want to call it, IC. Is it IC? Yes, it's sort of like a power. No, not really. It's sort of a MOSFET basically. So first thing you want to do is the top point there to there, or through this resistor here, should give you a reading. Okay, well let's start with the easiest one. Alright, so what we don't want it to, put your test meter in continuity mode, so we get a beep. Put 1 probe on the HDMI port, like the metal part on the top, like we did now. And then firstly, we're going to put it on this first point here. Okay, so we're getting a beep. Funny enough, yesterday I wasn't getting a dead short here. So, yeah, so we shouldn't be getting a dead short. Let's try the next one. Still getting a dead short. Okay, so we have a problem there. Alright, let's try the third one. We're still getting a dead short. Okay, so that's a bit of a problem. We shouldn't be getting a dead short there. The only ones that we should be getting a dead short on are the three on this side here. So that should give you a proper dead short. Okay. This shouldn't give you a dead short. Let's just have a look at something here quickly. Let's just zoom in. I want to make 100% sure that any of the two contacts aren't touching. Because oftentimes if you do test or you press your probe there, you might push the solder and it might link these two here. Alright, we shouldn't get a link between these two. So it's very interesting. We're getting a dead short. We weren't getting a dead short yesterday. So yeah, let's have a look. Alright, so now what we want to do is we want to test from this point here through this resistor here. Okay, well, let's put it onto diode mode. Let's have a look quickly. Our reading should be getting like 400 to 600. Okay, we're getting nothing. Give me 1 second, guys. Alright, I'm back. Sorry, everybody's getting to work now, so just going to say morning to everybody and say hello. So the day is starting early. Okay, so yeah, so like I said, we're not supposed to be getting a short here. Okay, so now we're not getting a short. So yeah, this is a bit of a weird one, this. Just check diode mode again. See, we're not getting a reading there. And we should be getting a reading. Yeah. Alright, so we're not getting any reading there in diode mode. So, what could it be? I've still got a feeling that some of these, one of these MOSFETs is giving us a problem. Let's check the next one quickly. See if we're getting a short. Okay, we're not getting any short. So you can check if there's a short between that and earth also by just touching one of these on the sides actually, okay? So we're not getting a short there either. Alright, are we getting a diode reading with this one? Let's have a look. No diode reading. Okay, so we're not getting a reading between that either. So, what's our diode reading between these two? Yeah, 0. That's interesting. So let's check the diode reading here. Still nothing between those two. Let's just switch it back to continuity. Let's see if we're getting any beeps between this one, this earth. No. No. Also even the HDMI port with the other tip. No. Alright, let's just switch it back to diode again. See if we're getting a diode reading here. 0. Swap the probes around. Negative on this one, positive there. Alright, so we're getting 622. Alright, let's go back. I actually forgot we got to swap them around. There we're getting 622. And between that one and that one, we're getting 622. So we know that's fine. Let's just check on the other side. 622. Okay, other side of the diode, 622. And on the other side, 622, 21, 22. Okay, so that we know is working. Alright, so that short was just a bit of a fake short just now. It wasn't really shorting out. Okay, so we're not getting any shorts now. As you can see, we're in continuity mode, we're not getting any short. Alright, so that we know is right. So test meter must have been just messing around just now. And that one, okay, short's gone. Alright, so the next problem that we need to check now is this IC here. This is a power IC. So where these three phases are, it's just to the top right. That's a power IC. That could be the problem. Or if we go past those ones there, let's go past all the phases. Let's go to the top here, next to this one here. There's another IC there, right by these two caps. Okay, so this IC is a RAM IC. This controls the RAM. Okay, so see it's right here by these two caps. One big problem with this IC is replacing it, because this cap here, if there's too much heat here in this area, this cap will explode. Okay, I've had one or two explode on me already. It happens to the best of us. We forget about this and we put too much heat in this area and this one explodes. So be very, very, very careful. You need a hot air station with a narrow tip so you can remove that IC there. Alright, so yes, there is other places that you can get a short. If you go right on to the other side of the board, I'm flipping the whole board around. This area here. So this is where your Wi-Fi card would plug into. Let's get that right. Yes, Wi-Fi card would plug into this part here. And just to the right, you got this area there. Yeah, that can also short out. That specific little IC there, that likes to short out. And so there you can also have a problem. What you can do is just put the one probe onto the earth, so let's say on the HDMI side, on the little silver part, and you can check if you've got shorts here. Okay, one side of the cap will short, the other side shouldn't short. Okay, not getting any shorts there. Next one is this little one here. You can see I've tested them already. No short. No short, no short. Yes, that will be earth, ground, ground, no short. Yeah, no, nothing. Alright, this one here would give you a short if there's a problem on the USB side where the USB is shorting out. You get this one giving you a short. It goes through the board and it goes through other components at the bottom of the board. We don't have a problem there. This is your LAN port. Next thing you can check are these capacitors around behind the LAN port. So let's just put the one probe on top of the LAN port. Let me zoom out a little bit. Okay, no, we can't zoom out any further, then you lose focus. Alright, so let's put the one probe on the, you can see on top here. Put it on top there. Let's check if we're getting a short here. It's ground, no short. Ground, no short. Ground, no short. Ground, no short. Okay. So if you're getting a problem here, then you know your LAN side is faulty. Okay, then there's probably been lightning, probably some lightning that came through the LAN port itself and then damaged the IC, the Realtek IC on the back. Alright, so we're getting no shorts there. So because it's coming on, going off, I have a feeling it's this IC here. I'm not 100% sure. If it's not that one, the next one we would go for is the power IC. So the power IC is just to the top left of your, where you plug in your power supply into the board. It's just going to the top left there. There's no discoloration, doesn't look different to anything. This console was also open before. So what I often do is I look at the bottom where the X clamp goes on to make sure that somebody didn't, maybe their hand slipped and maybe damaged the, they might have broken a cap off at the bottom. I checked that already, no problems there. So let's start here. Excuse me. because I know that there's a the thing that bothers me about this is that it comes on and goes off. So, but it comes on for a little while, a couple of seconds, and then it shuts down. So that could tell me that the RAM chips aren't getting power, and if they don't get enough power, they would shut down. So all consoles, PS4 and Xbox One, what they do is they do a check first before they would give you any display. And one of the main checks that they do is they would check the RAM, they check the drive, if there's any errors there, shorts there, LAN side, Wi-Fi side. If they do have any problems there, or the console picks up any problem, it will not work. It'll either give you an error, or it just won't come on, or it'll come on and go off. So there's different things that can happen there. Alright, so let's start with this little one here. I've changed the nozzle on my hot air station. You can see, let's just zoom out again. It's not the full nozzle, it's this little one here. So what we're going to try and do is we're going to try and keep the heat away from this cap here. Hopefully we're not going to get an explosion, but we shouldn't. If you don't feel comfortable doing that, you can flip the board around and you can actually take this cap off. Alright, so it's the black one. It's not the blue one that often. It's not the bottom one, it's usually the black one. So let's see if we can turn it at an angle so we don't have any explosions here. So luckily the last time this happened, I was doing it through the microscope, so I didn't get any, it could have exploded and gone into my eyes. So if you're doing this without a microscope, I'd rather try and wear some safety glasses or something like that, just to make sure that if anything does happen, we don't have you don't lose an eye or something. Okay, so let's just quickly put some flux around here. You don't always have to use flux, it's not important because it's going to blow away in any case. With the heater we've got to apply to this board. So we need a nice fine tweezer. Okay, let's start the process. I'm going to just try and twist the board a little bit more because I want to try and get the heat away from that cap there. Hold thumbs. Let's have a look. Okay, heat's a little bit low. Let's just push the heat up a little bit. It's going to be a bit louder now. Just need some heat to try and get that out there. Okay, so let's try and come in from this side. Got to be quite quick so we don't have the cap heating up too much. So as you can see, we're blowing the heat away from the cap at the moment. Come on, let's get you off there. Can't get too much heat there on the cap, so we need to be quick here. And don't try and pull this off the board because you'll damage the pads at the bottom. Gotta wait till it heats up enough. I should have maybe used a different nozzle for this, but let's just try. Come here, lower profile. As you can see, it's got quite a big earth pad at the bottom, so it can take a bit of time. There we go, it's coming off. Alright, let's move that away straight away. Get that heat out of the board. Alright, so this one's off. So we're going to start with this one first just to make sure. So it makes a bit of a noise. Just the hot air station cooling down. Let's quickly zoom into that, just make sure all the pads look okay. There we go. Okay, everything looks like it's intact. There's no problems there. So we need to prepare a new IC to put back on there. This solder here is lead-free solder, so it's a bit hard, but I usually leave this on and then I just prepare the IC that needs to go back on here. So let me grab that IC quickly. It's a RAM IC, RAM controller IC. Give me 1 second. Right, let's zoom you guys back out. These are new ICs, so let's just pop a new one out. Okay, want it to be upside down. Okay, soldering iron is on. Let's just make sure we got the right tip in the soldering iron. Yes, we do. Okay, so what I usually do with this one is I grab it with a tweezer, hold it onto it, okay, like that. See if I can get some focus again. Okay. And then we need to prepare this IC first. Just going to move the main board out the way quickly. Right, my main board's out the way. Just quickly grab onto that IC. Alright, so what we need here is a little bit of flux. Okay, the flux looks good there. You need to bring in some solder. There you can see some of the solder. And we need a tip. Quite a fine tip, you could see. So what we need to do here, got some flux on the tip now, so it's messing me around. Just quickly try and do it like this. Come on. Okay, so our tip is dirty. Oh, it's got flux on it. Let's just try and get all that flux off there. Okay, there we got a little ball. So I'm just going to pop it on there just to make sure you guys are in view still. So I'm just going to run it across to all the contact points to make sure that it's tinned a little bit. Okay, let's flip it around. Let's do this side. Thing is, if you don't do this, it doesn't always seat properly onto the board. Flip it around that way. Okay, flip it around that way. Get more solder. See, the best is to have a nice blob. Okay, looks good. Alright, so that's prepared. Quickly take that out. Let's get some alcohol. Just clean it nicely with some alcohol. Give it a scrub. Okay, and as you can see, all the little tips have been soldered now. They got some solder on them, so that means when we put it back onto the board now, it'll take nicely. It won't have maybe a dry joint somewhere because it's already been tinned. So we tinned it with some solder. Okay. Now to get it back onto the board again, just flip it around. So there you can see the part number on the chip. Give me 1 second, let me quickly just going to put this up. Just give me 1 second guys, I'll be back now. Okay, I just want to check the orientation of the chip. I actually didn't look properly, but if you look nicely you'll see there is a little dot on the board. So this is my test board I usually use for testing. You see that little dot there? That means the dot of the chip must be on the top left, because that's pin number 1. Alright, so that dot there must line up like that. Alright, and on the chip on itself, let's try and see if I can turn it a little bit, give you a better view there. Let's just get some focus. Come on, focus, man. Alright, so see the dot top left of the chip? That must line up with the dot on the board, the white little dot on the board. Okay, so we need to put the chip that way around again. Alright, let's just put this board away. Alright, we want to get rid of some of this flux here. With these small chips like this, if you don't, you're going to get a problem where they start floating on the board, and they can mess you around quite a bit then. So you get all that flux off there. We'll clean the board up later properly, but it doesn't look too bad. Okay, so when we get back there again, right, let's just focus back up. Again, we got to be careful putting this back. We want to be careful of the heat. For that capacitor again, please remember about the capacitor. And again, if you're trying to replace it, please just and you're not using a microscope where it can't hit you in the face when it does explode, just please try and use some safety glasses. Okay, when it does explode, it disintegrates in pieces, and you can see it's got a metal casing on it, so it can really hurt you. I mean, those little shards of the steel could go into your face or something like that. So you got to be very careful. Alright, so we got it right there. Let's just get you guys in a bit of a better view. Just put the chip in there. Just get it the right way around. Okay, and we're going to flip it right round because we need to get the little dot in place. But what I usually try and do is I try and take it from this side. Sorry, I'm bumping the board there. I try and come in from this side. It's a little bit easier to place it back down again. Alright, so let's get my tweezers in the right angle, yeah? So we want to get that chip back down there. Just want to swap nozzles quickly because I think that nozzle is a little bit thick. I'm going to go down a little bit smaller. Just put a smaller nozzle on the hot air station. And the thinner one's also got a bit more the length, so it's a little bit longer too, which helps. Because this hot air station is quite a bulky one. It's got quite a big tip and a big nozzle in the front. So I don't know if you can see that, it's a little bit smaller. It'll heat up the area a lot more and blow the heat towards that way, so we don't have any heat going onto this capacitor. Alright, let's pop that back on, switch that back on. Okay, let's grab that chip. Okay, I'm just going to turn the board again, just so I can get a bit of a better angle here. Alright, that should be fine. You can get in there properly now and get the hot air station in there. Alright, let's start heating up. Let's just put it high, running at 495 degrees at 60% air. Alright, so we're going to heat this up until we get this melted. And because it's a lead free, it takes a much longer time to start melting. All the solder on this side. Just get that all heated up properly, just get the solder to start melting. Once that starts melting, we can put the chip back on. Got the shakes today, probably because I'm worried about that the capacitor exploding. Come on, start melting. Let's see if we can start putting this on there, see what it actually takes. Yeah, it's sticking. Okay, so the chip is obviously going to draw out a lot of the heat. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to get some more flux. Put some flux in that, because now it's stuck to the board with a pad in the middle, which is the ground pad. So you can see it's actually stuck on there now. Let's get some flux, put some flux around the chip, and it should line itself up and the point should make a better contact. Let's just do that. Okay, let's get some heat back in there again. So let's bring the airspeed down a little bit, because as you can see the flux is blowing all over the place. So I'm going to bring the airspeed down to about 36 airspeed. Okay. Oops. So you can see it doesn't blow the flux away as much as it did now. It's still going to blow it away, but at least it's a lot better. We need to line the chip up. We need to make sure all those contacts are done properly. Let's just move this board back up a little bit. Sorry about that. Out of view a little bit. Okay, so we can nudge the chip just a little bit, just to make sure. Just try and see when it starts melting. Come on, start melting. You can see it takes quite a lot of heat. Okay, and the longer we got the heat there, the more, there we go. Alright, so it jumped into place. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hold the chip down and then just heat it up a little bit more. Get all that excess solder out underneath the chip. Alright, that should be fine. Okay, now we need to run the soldering iron on these pads here, along the sides here, there, and there, because we need to make sure the solder is making a proper connection with all the little tips, the points. Alright, so let's get some solder. We need some flux again. The flux makes the solder run nice and evenly, and it actually draws into the contact points a little bit better. So let's get some solder now. Okay, we run it across. You can see Solder goes in nicely. I might just turn the board a little bit. Okay, let's run it along that side. That looks good. Let's run it along the inside. Okay, looking good. And run it through the bottom. Okay, let's see. Clean it up with some isopropanol, 100% or 99% isopropanol alcohol. Get all that flux off there. Then we use our little cloth. The cloth we use is a cloth that you use to clean your glasses or spectacles. So it gets rid of that flux residue there, because it's like a carbon fiber cloth. Again, we'll clean the board up later a little bit better. But we want to make sure that we got none of these little points are connecting to each other. So let's just flip the board up a little bit. I'm going to put you in focus now. Okay, let's just adjust the microscope a little bit. Let's go there, let's go down. Okay, so we want to make sure none of those little points are connecting. That looks good. Let's just flip the board all the way around. Let me bring the microscope to the edge, then we can see a little bit better. Alright, let's just zoom back out again. Okay, let's just get to the right place. Okay, the one on the left doesn't look like it's making proper contact. It is, but it needs a little bit more solder there. Okay, you guys can't see anything. Sorry guys, it's very difficult to try and show you through the microscope, but there's the chip there. That last little one there I'm not too happy about. I see it doesn't have enough solder on it. That's going to be that last tip there. The rest all look fine. I'm just going to double check it quickly with the microscope. You might not be able to see, but it's difficult with the light. Just quickly have a look. Okay, they look good. Okay, those look good. And the last side there, that looks good. Alright, so I'm just going to run a little bit of, I'm just going to need a little bit more solder on the one edge there. Just quickly get us in focus again. Okay, let's grab the tweezer. See, there's a bit of a hair here. Just remove that hair. Okay, let's quickly get some more flux just to make sure we get it to seat properly on that last little tip there. I don't know why the light is so bad on this thing. Let's quickly have a look here. Okay, so let's get a little bit more solder. We don't need much. Just need to get that little tip. Okay, that should be good. There we go, that looks much better. Clean the board again. Right, we'll do a test quickly just to see what happens if it does come right. I still, like I said, still got a feeling that this board is an internal board issue and not, I don't think the problem is actually on this, I don't think this is going to be one that can be repaired. I know most people show you only videos of successful repairs, but not everything can be fixed. There are times that we don't get things right. Not that often, but it does happen. Alright, let's just quickly change the view here. Okay, I just want to clean this chip a little bit better. See there's a little bit of flux from the top end there. Just give me 1 second quickly. Sorry, I just want to put the one light on quickly. Just give me a second. Alright, so let's see what it does. We're just going to assemble part of it. We're not going to assemble everything. Let's put the heatsink on. Put the heatsink and the fan on quickly. We're not going to repaste it now. We're going to do the pastes only after we know everything is right. Let's quickly see. Ah, come on, man. Got the whole thing wrong. No, I do have it the right way around. There we go. Plug in the fan. Okay, let's flip it around. This is the area I was talking about, the X-clamp. People often use a screwdriver to try and take the X-clamp off, and they bump some of the caps off the board around this area. And that's when we can also have a power problem when they come in for repairs. A lot of customers try and do the services themselves on their Xboxes, and they cause more damage, unfortunately, than needed. So we use this tool to take the X-clamp off. We bought this one online, so you pop it in underneath it if you know how the X-clamp looks, and we just flip it up, so that loosens it. So what a lot of guys do online, or that you show you in YouTube videos, they try and take a screwdriver and they pry this clamp, and then what they don't understand is a lot of customers don't know how to do it, and then they slip and they bump off the caps of the board. Alright, so that's on. Fan is plugged in. Alright, so we need the hard drive. Just quickly plug the hard drive in. Let's hope that that was the problem. I just really do hope that's the problem. If it's not, I'll have to spend a couple more hours to try and find where the short is, or the problem is that it keeps on shutting down. Something is obviously giving a problem. Okay, we need the power supply. We're just going to plug it in like this. Okay, and then we need the front power board. Move that back for you guys. Need the front power board there, and then we need power. Plug into the power supply. Okay, that's there. Okay, so we're getting a fan spin. That looks good. That looks promising. Let's put it on. So we're trying to get a fan spin, but I can hear the hard drive just spinning and shutting down again. Okay, there we go, the light's on. Light is on, shutting down again. So the hard drive is spinning up. This is the same thing we were getting yesterday. Comes on. shuts down. Right. Okay, so we can hear the everything's spinning up. Light is coming on, as I say. You can see it on my finger there. Shutting down. Okay, so we're still losing power somewhere. Something's still the console's still seeing that there's a problem somewhere. It's going to like a protection mode and still shutting it down. So the next thing we're going to do is the power IC. Let's see if the power IC will make any difference. Alright, so it's off. Okay, like I said, this could be a long video and we might not get it right, but at least you can see some of the things that could go wrong, and those are the items you can try and change out to see if it makes any difference. I still don't think it's going to be the power IC, but I might be surprised. If it's not, I'll have to spend more time on it. Like I said, you can feel the main processor is getting warm. I have checked with the infrared camera. We're not getting other heat spots here. We're getting one heat spot on the side here. But I've checked the components. I don't see any problems here unless that little chip there is the problem. Let's get a microscope on that. So the only place I'm getting a problem is here. So I don't know if that little component there, that little IC there, could be the problem. Never had one before, but we've tested all the components around it. We're not getting any shorts there, and yes, you're not always going to get a short, but that will be the last thing that I'm going to try and replace if the power IC doesn't work. So the power IC, again, let's zoom me back out. Power IC is the one where here's your plug to plug in the power supply. It's the one just to the left of it that controls all the power to the board. Okay, so let's have a look. Because the console is coming on, coming on, going off, I don't think it's going to be this one. I think if this one does go, it probably wouldn't come on at all. But let's see. Let's see. Give me a second. Let me just get a power IC quickly, and we'll try and remove this one and take it from there. Let me just put you guys quickly on mute again. Okay, so we got the new power ICs. Let's just take the board, put it one side, because we've got to prepare the power IC the same way that we did on the what you call it, the RAM IC. So we're just going to give it some flux. Just quickly pop that around so I can show you guys the model number on this one if we can. Do that. Zoom in a little bit. Okay, this one's a bit difficult to see. Let's just, oh, come on. Okay. You can sort of see that, yeah, there you can see NCP 4205. So it's the power IC that we're going to replace now on the board. Okay, so you guys can see that. Alright, again we're going to prepare it like we did with the other one, so we can make sure that it takes properly. And so I'm just quickly seeing here if this is the IC we just replaced now. No, is it NFD? No, this is it's another IC we did on the HDMI side for a Xbox One S also. Alright, let's just chuck that one side, we don't need that now. Okay, let's flip this one around so we can prepare it properly. Okay, zoom out, get you a little bit more focused up. Okay, that looks like it's the best we're going to get now. Alright, we're going to do exactly the same thing as we did with the other one. Okay, so we're going to grab hold of it, the tweezer, put some flux around the edges. You put a little bit in the middle also, because we can put a dot of flux on the, solder on there, lead-free solder. Let's bring in some solder. Zoom out a little bit. Okay. Just waiting for the soldering iron to heat up. Okay, so we want a bit of a bubble on it. Okay, the flux is moving away from the chip, so we're getting a bit of a it's not really working like we wanted to, but we'll fix it up now. Okay. Alright, let's just fix up some of the parts so that I can see they've joined. Zoom in a little bit. You can see the bottom end has joined a little bit, so let's just put some more flux on here. Okay, just double check all of them. That one's got a link, it's linked there. Just check that they all got solder on. Okay, they're looking good. Okay, looks perfect. Let's double check this side. And then let's try and see if we can get a blob in the middle. Just to help a little bit. Don't really need, but let's just put a little blob there. Okay. Alright, same thing, clean it with isopropyl so it doesn't float around on the board. And we're putting it back. Get it nice and clean. Okay, that looks good. Okay, it looks like we don't have any connections or problems there. Flip around. Okay, there's the part number again, just in case I missed it early on. Let's get the board. Okay, so we want to get this one off now, the old one. So before we start, let's just make sure what the orientation is of the chip. So you can see it there, the dot is on the bottom left. Bottom left is the dot there, and there's a dot on the board there. Okay, so then you know where pin number 1 is. That's pin number 1, so that links up with that dot there. Alright, so the chip's going to go on upside down, because I've got the power port towards me, closest to me, so that's how we're going to orientate the chip. So we can get it off quickly. So we shut down there, so we don't need a small tip for this one. We can use a big tip of the hot air station. We don't need such a small tip this time. Alright, let's prepare all our stuff quickly. Soldering iron is on. Okay, so let's try and get that chip off again. Let's give it some time. Alright, let's see. So we want, I'm giving it 495 air, sorry, heat at 60% air. So as you can see the tip, I've taken the long little tip off. So we need quite a bit of heat on here. Hopefully those caps in the top left don't pop, but I don't think they will if we just keep the air going towards the side. Okay, it's waiting for it to heat up properly. Okay, it hasn't moved yet. You can nudge it just to check when it does start moving. Hopefully this is the problem. If it's not, I'll have to sit and do a lot of testing on the board. We might have to inject some power on the board just to check where we're losing voltage. Maybe it's not on the 12 volt side. Well, I don't think it's on the 12 volt side. It might be on the 3.3 volts. There we go. Chip's coming off, sorry. There we go. Okay, so that's off. So we might be losing voltage on the 3.3 or the 1.1 volts, somewhere around there. I'll just have to test a lot more on the board. I'm just going to go through the quick things now, just to show you guys what you can have a look at when you've got a power problem on your Xbox One S. Power problems. The Xbox One S does have quite a lot of issues, especially HDMI ICs. You can check my previous videos. We changed the IC with a different IC from the Xbox One X. We don't use the S ICs because we know that they give problems. Right, let's put the other one back on. Let's get the orientation right of the chip. So we flip it around, because we need to get in that way around. Remember what I said, the dot and the dot needs to line up. Okay, let's grab the chip, let's hold on to that, because we're just going to blow it away if we put in heat now. Just get some heat into the board, start melting some of the solder. We just place it on there so it sticks properly, and then we can put some flux on just to make it float into place. They don't always float into place, so you're going to have to use your eye just to line it up properly, all those little points. As you saw, if you rewind the video, you'll see the bottom of the chip's got those little points that we were putting solder on early on the new chip. Those little points have to make contact with all those little points that you see around the chip. The middle is the ground of the chip. Okay, I can see it starting to melt a little bit now. just try and get it lined up more or less. Okay, that looks sort of okay. The chip is now stuck to the board. Okay, let's get some flux in there so we can get everything to line up properly, and maybe the chip will pull into place at the same time. Again, like I say, it doesn't always pull into place, but we're going to try. I'm going to bring my airspeed down so we don't blow the flux away. Let's go to the airspeed, bring that down. Let's bring it, yeah, let's put on 35 airspeed again. No, let's bring it a bit lower. Let's take it to 30 airspeed at 495 degrees. Here we go. It's not blowing it away too much. I'm just going to zoom in a little bit more so I can see what's going on with the chip. I'll focus you guys now. Okay, this is probably the best. I'm going to get it right now. Let's get some heat into there. Okay, chip's moving. Okay, I can see it's a little bit skew. Okay, so this one's not jumping into place like the other one did. But if I look at it with the eye, it looks like it should be okay. Let's just push down on it. Okay, get all that excess flux, solder at the bottom, get it out. Okay, let's hold it down, let it cool down properly. Solder join properly. Okay, then we need the soldering iron again. We first need some more flux. Let's put some flux, extra flux around there again. Make sure our flux is good. Okay, run the soldering iron across it, all those little points, so we get a proper connection. Zoom me back out a little bit again. Alright, let's run it across. Okay, it looks good. Bottom, top, and on the side, left hand side. Okay, that looks good. So as you can see, you need quite a fine tip on your soldering iron to get into that edge there. So I'm zoom back out, just need to clean here. So if you don't have a fine tip, you're going to struggle a bit to get inside there. Okay, clean with isopropanol, and then again with our little microfiber cloth. Just get rid of most of that flux. Here we go. Alright, I'm just going to check chip quickly to make sure. You might not be able to see, but I'm going to just make sure that all the little points are connecting properly. Okay, that side looks good. Flip it around. It looks good. Other side. Yeah, nothing's touching. And the last side also looks good. Nothing's touching. Okay. Alright, let's assemble again. Let's check. Let's hold thumbs. Let's see if this sorted the problem out. Okay, let's grab the heatsink first. X-clamp. See, the problem is with this machine that has been opened before. I don't know what the guys have tried to replace, or if they maybe bumped something off the board somewhere that I'm not seeing under the microscope. So that's the other problem we have with this one. It's always so much better when nobody's worked on the machine before, so we know, you know, what to look for. But this one is a bit difficult now. There could be a component missing somewhere. It could be so many different things. So let's just quickly flip this around. Okay, hard drive's in. Just move our mouse. I'm just going to close the door. It's a bit cold. Just give me 1 second. Okay, plug power supply in. Front power board. Okay, and let's just make sure we got everything in that we need. Yeah, everything looks good. Put some power. Okay, we're getting a fan spin again. Getting a beep, no light. Fan spin again. Beep, no light. Okay, so we still got another problem with this console. See, this could be a RAM issue also. Might not even be that. Might even be the main processor or the Southwest chip itself. Okay, there we got a light now, as you can see. No fan spin, shutting down. Alright, so we know now it's not the power IC, it's not the RAM IC. Back on again, fan stops. So we still got another issue here. Let's just try something quickly. I'm going to try a different power supply, just to make sure that it's not the power supply. Maybe it's coming on and just shutting down again. You never know. You just never know. Even though the voltage shows right, the problem is when it draws current on the power supply might be failing as soon as it draws too much current. So just imagine if it's something this stupid. And believe me, we've had times that it is something so simple, but you always think of the worst. So let's see. Okay, power's in, fan spin. Nah, still nothing, no light again. Okay, nothing, fan spin, no light again. Could it be this front power board? Something again that we didn't check. So we're getting a beep, but now we're not getting any, it's not staying on again. Alright, so, yeah. Okay, so we got a light back on again, you can see on my thumb there, but we're still not getting any power. Okay, so we've tried a different power supply, it's also not that. So, like I said, not all repairs come right straight away on camera, even though we try. But at least we know now that it's you've seen a couple of things I've tested. You know how to test the power supply. You can see the power IC. You know about the RAM IC. You know how to check for shorts, how to check readings on the 3 phases that come in. I'll have to do a little bit more work on this one, take a bit more time and try and see if I can find the problem. Fortunately, this one didn't come right on camera. If I do get it right, I'll give you guys an update. It might not come right at all. It might be one of the RAM chips, and yeah, it becomes a bit of a process. Then we got to reball one of the RAM chips, got to find the RAM chip that's shorting out. This one doesn't have any liquid damage, so it's difficult to try and spot which one it might be, but I don't think it's anything on the RAM chip side either, but it can be. It can be. Yeah, so hope you enjoyed. Please hit the like button. It will help the Google algorithm, and subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. I'm going to, again, I know I've said it in so many videos, and I'm going to try and do a lot more videos, and I'm going to really try my best. We just got some deliveries that just came in now. There's nothing else right now on the shelf. We pumped out about 11 or 12 repairs yesterday, so I can hear there's a couple more consoles coming in right now, so we'll do a couple more videos if there is any more to do now. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Have a good day. We've got a rainy day here still. Let's have a look. So yeah, as you can see, we've got quite a cold day today here in South Africa. Let's quickly see. There we go. There's the guys. They're coming to deliver some consoles to us today. We've still got a bit of a drizzle and a bit of a wind, so we're getting a little bit cold today in South Africa. Cool. Have a good one. Thank you again. Cheers. Bye bye.